Welcome to Park Bench Interviews, hosted by Randy Goodman, Harvey Callis Real Estate, your real estate professional. Get to know our community, our businesses, products, and services that will elevate your life. Please welcome your hostess, Randy Goodman.
Hey everybody, it's Randy Goodman from Harvey Callis here, and I am super excited to be interviewing Balbir Pabila, who is an entrepreneur, and we're going to find out exactly what she does in a minute. Thank you, Balbir, for being here with me.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do. What's your story?
So what I do now?
Yeah.
What I do is I like to empower people with access to affordable legal system that is available to everybody, no matter what the bank account is.
I love that. I love that. And how do you do that?
Through a company called LegalSheild, where you have it's membership based, it's subscription monthly based access to those services.
So what kind of services can you get? Can you describe it to us? Like, I know you can't tell us everything, but give us like some basics. Like, what would people mostly want to have access to that they would have access to through your system?
So the main thing is getting their wills done. Wills are part of the membership. It's a very cost-effective way of getting it done, and they are included in the membership, as well as the powers of attorney, getting documents reviewed that sometimes when we receive financial documents or other documents, we don't always understand what they really say, and there might be some fine print that is in legal English, and I don't speak legal English, so I needed help. So they review documents for you and get back to you and tell you what it's really saying.
Okay.
That's one of the things. And the main thing is that you can phone them unlimited number of times for any issues that you might have. Even if it's not illegal or what you might not think it's legal, you can still pick up the phone and ask, because it doesn't cost any more.
And what's the turnaround time? Like, do you get immediate access, or do they have to set an appointment with you? Like, how does it work?
So the way it works is that you can phone in Monday to Friday, normal working hours, 8:30 to 5. Phone in, ask your question with the intake person, and the appropriate lawyer will get back to you between 6 to 8 business hours, depending on how busy they are. Sometimes it could be sooner, sometimes it could be really to the last hour, as they were.
Okay, that's awesome. So what did you do before, Balbir? Were you always doing this, or tell us a little bit about your journey?
So I loved IT. You could not get me off a computer. In my late teens, early 20s, I was hooked. So and that was purely by accident, actually. I thought I was going into accounting with this side thing called computing. Ended up being in the computer lab, because back in those days, it was just a computer lab. We didn't have personal computers.
Right. Yeah.
And you couldn't get me out of there until they threw me out at the end of the day. So I thought, maybe I think I should do this because I like it. And that's what led me to a career of over 30 years in product development, support, team lead. And that's what I was doing until the company closed down, because we were kind of controlled by an outside force.
Okay.
And but by the end of that time, I got completely burnt out, and I thought, what can I do that is not IT? And I was going through some rough patches with my marriage, and I thought, well, let me find out. So when the first somebody approached me about LegalSheild, I said, no, I'm good. I don't need any legal thing. I'm really good. And then about a year later, I went back to her and says, what was that thing that you were trying to tell me about? So that's how it started.
That's awesome. Like, you never know. Like, it's so interesting to see the chain of events of how somebody transitioned from one thing to another, if they did, right? Some people figure out right away what they want to be, and some people, I mean, you knew what you wanted, right? It was just circumstance that kind of threw you out there and made you
Yeah.
think about what else can I do. So I love that. I love that. And sometimes we have to get creative. And I fell into a similar situation as you, where it was like, hey, now what am I going to do? You know, it's like now I do something that, you know, never studied in my life. So until I did, right? Um, so I love that. And so tell us, how do you like, who would be the right person to require services? Who would be like, what might they be thinking? What might they be going through? Can you give us a couple samples? Because people out there might not realize that they should maybe refer to a lawyer and ask some questions.
So I describe this as a lifestyle. It's an insurance that everybody should have because you don't know what life is going to throw at you.
Right.
One of the other features, and there are so many, is that you have 24/7 access to a live lawyer if you get into a situation where you need a lawyer,
Right.
whether it be 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning. If it's an emergency, as in an emergency being there's a police officer, there is some situation where you might be thrown into jail, or children's aid are coming to take your children away from you, or the ex is not giving you the children back, or whatever it is that you need a lawyer right there and then, that is deemed an emergency, and you would call the emergency button and get that access. So basically, anybody would benefit from having this, from reviewing documents, from having speeding tickets. And right now it's actually crazy on the roads. But it's, you know, how many times have we signed documents without really understanding them? Just about every other day. Buying a car, review that document before you sign it, because you don't know what hidden things. They might say it's a standard agreement,
Right.
but it might not be a legal agreement.
Mm.
So just for the everyday things, if you don't know if you can build a car park at the front of your house, I wouldn't know if my bylaws would allow that. Just pick up the phone and ask. It's a great resource, and you don't lose anything by just picking up the phone. They're not going to suddenly start charging you $3,000 the next month. No, it's really just the $24.95 a month for the personal membership that covers the member, the spouse or partner, one, not both if you have both, and children up to the age of 26 living at home, as well as mentally challenged children.
Wow.
For the life of the member, they are covered as well under the membership.
Wow.
You just pick up the phone.
That's pretty inexpensive for a service that you have 24/7 access to. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really, yeah, it's pretty incredible. So
It doesn't cover, sorry to cut you off. It doesn't cover everything, but 80 to 90% of things it would cover. And anything that it wouldn't cover, you still get 25% discount.
okay. Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. I love that. So you also give back to community. Can you tell us what you're passionate about in that regard?
My passion, I have volunteered at food banks. I've volunteered for Victoria Order of Nurses, going in and speaking to an elderly couple. That was filling my need. They thought it was for them, but it was actually for me because I was missing my grandmother. And I thought, let me go and find somebody else's grandmother, right? So.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. I call it mental income. It's your mental income.
Yeah. They really thought it was for them, and they were kept thanking me. And I used to visit her at the hospital because she was in there for a little while. And she says, "You don't have to come." I says, "I know."
I don't have to do anything, but I want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know it makes you feel really good when you, especially when you see results, of the impact that you made. So I love that. And you're also volunteering at Toronto Women's Expo for Million Dollar Smiles, who supports children with life-threatening illnesses and special needs. So thank you for that as well.
Okay.
And yeah, that's awesome. So do you have any tips or suggestions for people that you want to share? It could be business, it could be personal, it doesn't matter.
The one tip that I've learned in my many years of being here is, excuse me, do what you love. Find something that you're passionate about and throw yourself in, and find a way to make an income. LegalSheild is just a vehicle for me to do other things. It's not, I do like helping people in getting them these services because sometimes they need it badly and we don't know how badly they need it. But my passion is to help people move along in their journey to a better place. So my tip would be find something that you love, work towards it, and do personal development, because that's what actually helps you along the journey to become a better human being on this planet.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. And how can people get a hold of you?
Via email or cell phone. My phone number is 416-837-7153. Just call me, text me, you need some help. I can put you in the right direction. And if I can't help you, I know a lot of people that I'll be able to direct you to.
I love that. I love that. So you'll be of service, which is very giving. So thank you for that. And thank you for chatting with us today, Balbir.
Thank you, Randy, for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you for listening to this interview hosted by Randy Goodman. We hope you will take action and connect with the incredible business people and leaders in our community. And remember, Randy is always here to answer any questions you have regarding your real estate needs. Be sure to register on the website and stay up to date on what's happening in your area at parkbench.com/millpond.